Good morning, true crime friends. Listen, I've been sitting here because there's not like a lot of active cases going on right now. So I just been like, dipping and dabbling, looking around to see what cases are out here for me to talk about in the morning with my true crime friends, right? So I'm sitting here quietly, minding my own business, and this DOG has been very, very quiet. And now as soon as I get ready to start the video or whatever, squeak, 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 squeak. Sabotage. Okay, first, before we get into it, you know what you have to do. Do all the YouTubey things. Like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, whatever. I'm not trying to be bossy. I'm just telling you how to help a sister out. Okay, so look. This is what I saw this morning. Number one, remember Carlee with the Cheez-Its? Carlee who ran away from home or whatever. And she was like, oh, I'm spilling my coffee. She was like, oh, it's a baby on the highway. Oh, I'm gonna go rescue it. Okay. And then she disappeared and she tried to pretend like she was kidnapped, right? But she took some Cheez-Its as a snack. And then she said, Bozo the clown and his wife were stroking her hair, feeding her Cheez-Its. The child was out of her mind. Well, listen. Her auntie, who is apparently a comedian, shout out to the auntie, don't remember her name, but she made a whole video where her take on this situation, and she's hilarious. Hilarious. I'm sitting here watching her channel because it says something like Carlee's auntie responds to the charges or something. I was like, oh, well, let me see what the family has to say. Listen, the auntie broke it all the way down. Now, apparently, the family, Carlee's branch of the family, is very sort of like bougie and whatever. They drive the fancy cars and they do all the fancy things. They're members of the local country club and whatever. This auntie, though, don't we all have this relative? Ghetto as hell. Wait, are we allowed to say ghetto? She's regular, country, unsophisticated. I don't know. But she was something else. First of all, she had tips and tricks on how Carlee could have done her crime better. Wow. Okay. Thank you, auntie. First of all, my only tip was do not be slandering Cheez-Its when you out here committing your crime. The auntie was like, okay, first of all, girl, that ain't nothing. This is your first crime. You're just going to get a little bit of time. Don't worry about it because jail is not that hard. Jail is not that hard. Okay, auntie, you know all about jail. All right. And then she had the following advice for Carlee. Number one, if you want to commit crimes, you should talk to your auntie first. Oh, auntie, you got a criminal. Okay. And then the auntie goes on to say, yes, I've done a lot of crime, but I ain't get caught. Oh, well, she is definitely the person to talk to. And she was like, and if you want to know next time how to do something, pull up. But don't use these electronics because electronics, that's how they get you. Well, the auntie is not wrong. And she was like, don't be Googling stuff on your phone. You just go and you buy a regular paper map. These are prime tips. This auntie know a little something about a little something. I was like, oh, well, wait a minute, auntie. If I want to commit a crime, do I need to consult you first? And she was like, you know what happened? Carlee was over at the hotel room, and I quote, probably just trying to get her a little ding-a-ling. Does she mean like ding dong, the hostess cake? Or does she mean that she trying to get some egg blip? Okay. And she told her, next time, don't go to the hotel. Don't do all this. All you got to do is pull up at auntie's house and she give you the back room over there. And she might charge you a little fee, but she let you get your ding-a-ling and she not going to bother you about it. Oh, okay. Duly noted, auntie. In other true crime news, I was watching Megan Amirowitz. Remember the girl who threw the lye on her father and then he burned all up because he peed on himself and then the lye mixed with the urine and he spontaneously combusted or whatever, something. That's not exactly what happened, but that's the spirit of what happened. Okay, so she got sentenced last week, right? And she got like time served and then she has to do like community supervision. And so Court TV caught up with her. Listen, first of all, she is very happy to be out of jail. She's been in jail for a year, so who can blame her? But they were like, now, if you watched her statement in court where she was like, Your Honor, I'm very, very sorry. I didn't mean to set my daddy on fire, whatever. And she said she made a best friend in prison. Good. That's probably not the place where you want to make a best friend. But if time's a tough, child, you will take whatever friends you can get. She and the popo, you and the popo. Okay, y'all gonna be BFFs. And she's like, and I have stayed on the crazy ward with my BFF so I can support her because she supports me. Megan, I don't think you're supposed to call it the crazy ward. I'm just I'm just saying that's politically incorrect. The proper term is psychological challenged. Well, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to call it because I'm not really that up on prisons. But she's like, I've stayed in the crazy ward and my best friend has helped me and blah blah blah. So they were like, okay, hey Carlee, you're out. How are you feeling today? And I fully expected her to say like, I'm going to Disney World, but she can't go that far because the ankle monitor situation. And so she's talking about her best friend. And somebody said, who's your best friend? And she said, Jennifer Crumley. You know that name is familiar, right? Jennifer Crumley, Ethan Crumley's mama. Ethan Crumley is the kid who took a gun and shot up his school, and then his parents got arrested. That Jennifer Crumley. So let me get this straight, Miss Jennifer. You chose your time in the pokey to become a good mother and a good parent and a good friend, because I have read the paperwork associated with your son's case. And from what I could tell, you're an alcoholic, possibly a drug addict, an irresponsible parent who has abandoned your child practically since day one. So I'm like, okay, so the ability to be a good person is in there. She just chose not to use it. Okay, good for you for helping Megan, because I get the feeling you gonna go to jail for a long time. Now, should the parents be charged for what the kid did? I don't know. But this child was clearly having some mental health difficulties, and the parents were like, yeah. Go take a Tylenol, and I'm gonna go on down to the bar. It's happy hour, and the ski team is. Wait, are we celebrating? Yes, you're hearing voices. Let the voices tell you a nice bedtime story and I'll be home when I get home. Like, Jennifer, you don't want your name in the news, girl. Or maybe Megan thought she was helping her friend out, but I don't know that this is, was Megan trying to take the jury pool for old Jennifer? Jennifer need to go to jail. Jennifer needs to go to jail. Number one, for being a bad parent. Number two, for buying her son a gun to spite. No, the father bought the gun to spite the mother because the mother didn't want it. The mother took the son who was hearing voices in his head to the firing range to spite the father. Y'all don't need to be parents. Y'all don't need to be parents. When I was a kid, the theory was that like everybody grew up and had kids if they were able. And then if you didn't have kids, it was something wrong with you, or you were selfish, or whatever. Now listen, these days, you don't have to have no kids. Plenty of people don't have kids, don't need to have kids, don't want to have kids. If you want to have kids, great. Go and have your kids. She ain't need to have no kids. Was his pull-out game not strong, Jennifer, girl? What happened? Well, I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. Do I think you're a terrible person? Yes. Absolutely, I do. Not a good mother, probably not a good human being, but it's nice that you helped the murderer girl, I guess, birds of a feather? Unclear. Also, you know how I spend my days, right? I come to you in the morning, I have myself a nice cup of coffee, and then I work out, and I do all the things I'm supposed to do, and then I go to work either at home or here, like either here in the office or here at home. I work 40 hours a week, sometimes more. Okay, not that much more. But I work, and then because I am a true crime junkie, I keep a little earphone in my ear so I can hear what's going on in the court system. And I'm over there with the 13th jurors with Miss Brandy Churchwell. Hey, Brandy girl. So look, they are covering that Piketon County massacre down there in Ohio. And so that case is so sad. But I remember watching it back when it aired like live on Court TV or Long Crime or whatever. I remember watching bits and pieces of that trial when it first aired. And I remember watching George, the accused, testify. And I was like, ooh, this case is fascinating. Also enormously complicated. But I wanted like a truncated version. You know me. I want everything to be fast. Quick. Just tell me what I need to know and go. So since I've been like poking around YouTube trying to find a truncated version of this case, well, turns out Court TV has done all the heavy lifting for me. They made a little small case, a small TV show. It's like 45 minutes long. It's a new show called Accomplice to Murder, the Piketon County Massacres. Child, cute Vinny Pennant. What is his name? Vinny Palatine. Vinny gets on there and breaks the whole case down quick and easy in like 45 minutes. But you know I watched it at 2X. So I had the whole case in like 22 minutes. And I know everything that happened. And I was like, wow. Because I didn't watch the whole case before. There was a whole bunch of things I didn't know. I had the broad strokes just like you have the broad strokes. Here's some key details that I had missed. Number one, this whole family was crooked. Like, I got the feeling they weren't the best people because they was out here murderation folks all over the place. But some of the things they did that I had not realized. Number one, George, his name is George Washington Wagner IV. George Washington? The fourth? It's four or five George Washingtons before you in your family? Okay. Also, as an aside to my aside, I have discovered that there's an inversely proportional relationship between people who name their kids after presidents and their goodness. Like, the more presidents' names they have, the less good they are. Remember House of Ho on HBO? Oh, that rhymes. Okay. So there's this reality show called House of Ho about this. I think they're Korean. It's like a family of Asian descent who immigrated to America, and they made a whole bunch of money. And the father was so enamored with the United States that he named all of his children after presidents, male and female. I think he had 4 kids. And then his 4 kids went on to name their kids after presidents. So you got Washington, you got Lincoln, you got Hamilton, all of these presidential names. These people, terrible. The first season of the show is actually kind of cute. And you're like, oh, look at this cute immigrant family who've made a lot of money, who are making their way. Child, is tragedies, is alcoholics, is terrible human beings, all scattered throughout that family, but they steady smiling to me. And they even have a George Washington in that family. So anyway, back to George Washington Wagner IV, who was a terrible human being, who he was like, I'm not like the rest of my family. They're terrible, and I'm slightly less terrible. And so everybody gets up there and says how terrible he is, and how his parents, from a tender age of like 9, 10 years old, were teaching him how to commit crimes. What? Y'all just out here being a crime family? It never occurred to you to just be like a postal worker or something? I'm not saying you got to go to Harvard and become like a whatever, any kind of physicist, but you can't just do a regular job. You can't get a job down at the plant. They not hiring down at the plant. Okay, they were associated with the plant, but a marijuana plant, because it was like a nice marijuana grow operation over there. Okay, I guess that's a job. Somebody has to grow the marijuana. And if not them, then who? Like, also, listen, I like to garden, right? I want a nice tiny little garden where I get some tomatoes. But all of that, you running afoul of the cartel, but I don't need that smoke. Plus, I ain't trying to work that hard at garden. Okay, but maybe that's a lucrative career. Okay, good for you. You know, like those trucking commercials used to be like, you too could have a lucrative career if you go to ABC Trucking. These all like, you too could have a lucrative career of murder and arson and marijuana growing. Please join us down at ABC Marijuana Growers, and we can show you how. Call our number now, whatever. So he's like, yeah, my mother is a proficient arsonist. Oh, okay. She's had a bunch of houses burned down, and they were like, how'd she burn down the houses? And he was like, you know, the usual way, you just put a bunch of newspaper inside the fuse box. Oh, well, now he giving tips on crime? Oh, okay. So note to self, if you want to burn down your house, put a bunch of newspaper in the fuse box. How does that even work? I don't even understand, but okay. That seemed like a bad idea to me. But I guess you get out of the house. Unclear. So, he gets on the stand and he's like, from the time I was a little kid, my father taught us how to pick locks. And first, as kids, we did kitty locks. Like, we picked the locks on the vending machines. So y'all got a whole bunch of Snickers. Congratulations. Okay. Then he taught us how to steal loads. Sir, I'm going to need you to stop using the jargon, because most of us are not criminals and do not know what it means to steal a load. That sounds like slang for something. But he was like, no. It's like you pick the lock on the back of a semi-tractor, and then you can steal all the stuff inside. Are you walking around with like a skid loader too? You just like taking pallets out and put it in the back of the Toyota? How'd that work? But so he has a life of crime. His whole family has a life of crime. And he was like, there were people who were going to come up here and say, I am a delightful human being and that I'm a nice person and I am slightly less criminal than my family. And then all the ex-wives showed up. You know, my favorite testimony is always the testimony of an ex-partner. They're like, he was terrible. He was bad in bed. His breath stank. He ain't floss. Like, they get up and tell everything about you. So I was like, okay, come through, ex-wife, come through. So she was just like, okay, I was married to him and I was young and they treated me and had it the same way. And then when his mama got mad, she took a 2x4 and threw it at me. A 2x4. Mama grabbed a 2x4 and threw it at her daughter-in-law? Are you serious right now? Okay. And then she was like, well, you're not doing what I said do, so I'm going to get my shotgun. Call me crazy. That seems like an overreaction. Ever so slight. Somebody don't follow directions and you get a 2x4 and then a shotgun. And they were like, oh, well, ma'am, what did you do? And she was like, oh, I did the only thing I could do. I ran away and then I hid under a truck. That's the countryest thing I ever heard in my life. You just hiding under a truck. I guess it's not enough trucks around here to hide under. So I don't understand the hide under a truck life. But, and how do people not see you? Like, how? Was you skinny? Was the truck high to the ground, loaded? I don't understand. But she hid under a truck, and then she waited till the sun went down, and she got on a bicycle, and she biked away and went and called her mom and them. But then by the time her mama picked her up, the po-po rose up, and it was like, yeah, they called the police and said, you caused a domestic disturbance. Really? You throw a 2x4 at me, and then I'm the one causing the domestic disturbance? And then she lost custody of her child. Their whole thing was like, everybody out here in the world is dangerous, so we need to keep custody of all the children. How is it that the worst people always think you doing something bad? You're just sitting here minding your business, right? But you're like, oh, I think that you must be doing the same things I'm doing. No. It's just more proof to that. You know that old saying, people see you not as you are, but as they are. So if like you're a nice person, you assume everybody else is nice. If you a thieving person, you assume everybody else is thieving. When somebody's accusing me of stealing something, I'm like, what you steal? What you steal, girl? Because I see you right now. But I'm like, okay. In the end, spoiler alert, this dude gets convicted. His daddy's coming to trial next year. I suspect he's going to get convicted too. Why do these people even bring this case to trial? Like, okay, they have our shoe prints. They got the pictures of mama at the Walmart over there in the murder aisle buying ugly shoes. They got her on videotape. They got all these video recordings of us. And I think I'm going to roll the dice with the jury. Everybody else in my family got convicted. Everybody in the family testifying against one another. I think I'm going to be different. Sir, you're not. You're not. This father just needs to be like, if you take the death penalty off the table, I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my... Please LWOP me. Because honestly, what they need to do is take him out and introduce him to the wonders of the firing squad. But I'm not in charge of things down in Ohio. Hey, Ohio, my sister lives in Ohio. But I'm just like, I called my sister. I was like, girl, you better be careful. Them people in Ohio, they not right. Something going on. But also, we think the same thing about Florida. We think New Jersey is full of mobsters, partially because it is. Not full of mobsters. We have a lot of rappers too. But, and like regular people like me. I'm just a nice lady from New Jersey who is here to bring you your morning tea or your morning coffee, because you know I got my morning coffee. But we just get together like this and gossip a little bit every morning. Not about people in our personal lives, because that would be bad manners. We gossip about people we don't know, about things around which we have partial information, and then we wildly speculate the way the Lord intended. This is how you're supposed to spend your morning. You come in, you get a little kiki, and then you take your vitamin C or whatever you're going to take, and then you go on with your day. We are good people. And because I'm a good person, I assume you're a good person. Is that crazy? Are terrible people watching this video? Are all y'all like criminals here just to get tips on how to commit crime? I hope not, because I'm not a good criminal. I don't know that I've ever gotten away with, well, I mean, I've gotten away with some like immoral things, but not some criminal things. Did I lie to my mama when I was a child? Yeah, absolutely I did. But do I assume my kids are lying to me? No, because I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm not the world's best parent. Y'all have seen my parenting videos over in the apropos of nothing. I'm just doing my best. I tell my kids, listen, I don't claim to be the perfect mother. I claim to be the mother who is like, y'all, I'm just doing my best. This is my best guess. If you got a better idea, please feel free to share it. This is what I say to my children. Like, if y'all got some, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I know everything. And she don't know nothing. Mostly because my parents weren't listening to my advice. I say to my sons, listen, this is what I think should happen. And either they say, oh, okay, cool. Or they're like, no, because I have this other idea. I will consider their idea. That don't mean I'm going to follow it. But if they come up with a better idea, great. We'll go with what you said. Fine. My son is turning, what is he turning? 19, 18, 19. He wants a tattoo. And I'm like, What kind of tattoo? And so he explains the tattoo, and I'm like, oh, that seemed like a good for you, fine. And so then he's like, yeah, I made my appointment for my tattoo. I was like, okay, who's taking you? Oh, his brother's going to take me to get a tattoo because his brother has a tattoo. Okay, great. And then I was like, well, who's paying for your tattoo? He's like, I have the money. Then why did he make a U-turn and come right back into the kitchen? He went to talk to his brother, came back and was like, so I figured that could be your birthday gift to me. Now I'm paying for a tattoo? Wait, what now? What happened? How did we get here? He's like, yeah, I went and talked to my brother. I was like, oh, that tricky sucker. That boy paid for his own tattoo. He's like, oh, this paying for things is for the birds. Mom and them got money. You see all these groceries in here? You know she got some money. She should buy like one less pot roast and go and pay for your tattoo. And so my son is like, yeah, he said, he didn't say nothing, but maybe you could pay for the tattoo. And I was like, well, how much is it? And he was just like, oh, it's only like $100. Okay, if I'm going to pay $100, if I'm going to put some money on it, I think my name should be in it. Like, can you just tattoo gossip, rumor, and innuendo? Oh, you're not going to tattoo the name of my YouTube. Okay, could you put mom, love, a heart, something like that? Turns out that's not how that's going to go. Okay, fine, whatever. Finally, last but certainly not least, 2 quick things. Number 1, oh wait, one of them just slipped my mind. Child, it's early, my mind is not right. Oh, I want to do an AMA. Do you know what AMAs are? Ask me anything. So, I think I'm going to do an AMA. Maybe we'll do one like quarterly or something, whatever. So put your AMA questions down in the comments section. So go ahead and do that. And then, somebody asked me if my husband was willing to appear on this channel. And I was like, that will be a roll of the dice. It'll be interesting to hear what he says. So I'm sitting back yesterday, we kikiing, having a little dinner. And I was like, hey, somebody from my channel asked if you would be willing to appear on my channel. He was like, right, no. And I was like, okay, whatever. He was like, that's your little thing. Go enjoy your little thing. And I'm like, okay, how he call my channel a little thing? He don't have no channel. But okay, fine. So he says no, and we will respect the boundary that he has drawn for himself. Now, I have not ever secretly recorded him for this channel. His name his face has not been on here. But although you did hear his voice when I was trying to get him to dress up like a cowboy, he was just giggling. But while he said no, I feel like he says no to me a lot. He should say yes more. Although he does make it his personal business to make sure that I am very happy all the time in all things. So maybe that's enough. Maybe he does not have to appear on my channel. Okay. So listen, I need to get out of here. I need to go. Oh, my hair is all my curls fell out. I just have it in a little ponytail today. But this is fine for work. I might just do this. Okay, look. I just sat here for 22 minutes and talked about absolutely nothing. I have to tell you, every single day I make these videos and I think, that was terrible. I didn't talk about anything. How do people watch this channel? And then in the comments, people are like, oh, you gave me a smile this morning. I'm like, really? Okay, it's fascinating to me. I don't even play these back for myself anymore because I kind of can't stand it. I'm just like, ooh, why did I should have fixed my face. I should smile more. I should get different headphones. I'm so critical of myself. But, I just put it up here and hope for the best, honestly. Like, it is what it is. Oh, and don't forget to play bingo. We have bingo cards. There's bingo cards over on the community tab. I'm going to have to make a separate little thing about that so that you can find your bingo cards. And, okay, that's a whole other thing. This video might take too long to load. So I'm going to make a separate bingo video so you know all about the bingo. And, y'all have a great day. Make it a good one and go out there and smile and wear the proper headphones and do something good for yourself and for others today. Oh, that's a nice way to end. Isn't that a nice way to end? I should end with something inspirational every morning. But then I would have to think of something inspirational to say. Okay, I don't need to put that pressure on myself. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you at True Crime Lunchtime. Lunchtime True Crime. I'll see you later. Bye.